Earlier this week, the Biden administration announced their harm reduction plan to help drug addicts, a measure the White House says will advance racial equity. The $30 million plan includes sending smoking kits to vulnerable communities, including areas that are predominantly Hispanic, Black, or LGBT. News outlets were quick to point out one glaring issue with the program: crack pipes were being distributed, along with needles and other drug paraphernalia.
They were never a part of the kit. It was inaccurate reporting, and we wanted to put out information to make that clear.
What is in the safe smoking kit?
A safe smoking kit. Safe smoking kit may contain alcohol swabs, lip balm, other materials to promote hygiene and reduce the transmission of diseases like HIV and hepatitis. And we wanted to provide clarification on the allowable uses for the HHS harm reduction program. It's not a change in policy. This program, though, is focused on harm reduction strategies, including prioritizing the use of fentanyl test strips and clean syringes. Clean syringes are intended to save lives from an epidemic that we know is devastating to communities across the country.
Welcome back to the channel. This is Anna's Thoughts and Musical Parodies, and I am Anna, your hostess. Thank you so much for being here today. Before you get all the way into this video, you might want to go and quickly subscribe to my backup channel, Anna Speaks Out. That will be linked in the description. If anything were to happen to this channel, everything will continue on over there, so just go make sure that you're subscribed. If you would like to support what I do here, one of the best ways that you could do that currently is to donate to my Diaper Fund for my baby, who is due around the beginning of April. Thank you so much. The link will be in the description. Okay, so from what I have gathered in my research, allegedly, Jen Psaki is a liar, like she allegedly always has been, and it does seem that there were crack pipes included in these safe smoking kits. And apparently there's not any more, though, because they got caught. From ABC 13 News as of February 8th, 2022. In the name of harm reduction, the substance abuse arm of the Health and Human Services Agency, HHS, will begin providing funds to help distribute safe smoking kits for the consumption of various illicit drugs like crack cocaine and crystal meth. Again, safe smoking kits for the consumption of various illicit drugs. So regardless of whether or not there were crack pipes in the kits, they are for the consumption of illicit drugs. So any way you slice it, that seems like a problem to me. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Agency has allocated roughly $30 million for a harm reduction program grant, which includes funding for syringe exchange programs, the opioid reversal drug naloxone, test kits to detect fentanyl, and safe smoking kits/supplies, among other more traditional measures like HIV testing and safer sex resources. Honestly, the only things in those kits that sound actually helpful and like they would reduce harm to me are the, safe sex items, like I'm assuming that's condoms. I don't know what else it would be. And the opioid reversal drug. As far as the things to test, why not prevent those things from happening in the first place? Why not prevent the people from using the fentanyl instead of testing for it? And, if you weren't giving out needles at all, the clean ones are better than the pre-used ones, but if you're giving out needles for people to do drugs, there's still a higher chance of them getting HIV and everything than if you got them off the street and into a recovery program or jail, because, I thought drugs were illegal. An HHS spokesperson reportedly confirmed to the Washington Free Beacon these safe smoking kits will provide pipes for the consumption of any illicit substance to reduce the risk of infection, which can potentially occur through cuts and sores. The SAM-HSA grants $30 million will be spread across 3 years, and the money will be prioritized for underserved communities that are greatly impacted by substance use disorder, or SUD. Other measures funded by the grant include harm reduction vending machines, including the contents to stock them, infectious disease test kits and medicines, vaccination services, and wound care supplies. This is the actual documentation for the Harm Reduction Program grant of 2022. And here on page 10, you can see that the harm reduction materials purchased with grant funds were including but not limited to safe smoking kits/supplies and syringes to prevent and control the spread of infectious diseases. Makes a lot of sense. So it's kind of open-ended, but it seems like smoking supplies could include crack pipes. However, a couple days ago, the junior senator from Arkansas, Tom Cotton, had this to say on Twitter. Good news, Biden's HHS is no longer funding crack pipes, but make no mistake, yesterday's change in policy is because HHS got caught. And you can pause the screen and read the statement if you'd like, but I did find it encouraging that they at least said that they were going to go after violent criminals who are trafficking illicit drugs. Cotton goes on to say, unfortunately, HHS is still proudly using your tax dollars to fund heroin syringes for drug addicts, which, as we saw at the beginning, Jen Psaki had no qualms about mentioning. So at the end of the day, what I think it comes down to is that we're just living in bizarro world by design, and lawlessness is just ever increasing as the Bible prophesied that it would in the latter days, as we get closer and closer to the return of Jesus Christ. So if you don't have a relationship with Jesus, I would suggest that you try reading the Bible or talking to someone who does and see where that takes you. God bless, and thanks for watching. Thank you again so much for being here today. Since you liked the video enough to make it all the way to the end, don't forget to click the thumbs up and share with somebody else who would also enjoy. Leave your comments below and we'll all have a conversation. If you really liked it, check out the link in the description for several different ways that you can support and get some cool stuff for yourself or a friend or a loved one. Have a wonderful night, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time zone you are in, and I will see you next time.